The Lord is the portion of mine inheritance and of my cup. Thou maintainest my lot. The lines are fallen unto me in pleasant places. Yea, I have a goodly heritage. Psalm 16, 5, 6. After rejecting false worship, David declares his complete satisfaction in God alone. These verses present one of Scripture's most beautiful expressions of contentment and trust in divine provision. The word portion carries rich meaning from Israel's history. When Joshua divided the Promised Land among the 12 tribes, each received a specific portion as their inheritance. The tribe of Levi, however, received no land portion because God himself was their inheritance. David adopts this language to describe his relationship with God. While he was not a Levite, David understands that his true wealth lies not in earthly possessions, but in his relationship with the Almighty. God himself becomes David's inheritance. The phrase "mine inheritance and of my cup" uses two metaphors to express the same truth. An inheritance represents permanent possession passed down through generations. A cup symbolizes daily sustenance and refreshment. God provides both long-term security and immediate provision. This imagery contrasts with the drink offerings of blood mentioned in verse 4. While pagans offer blood to their false gods, David receives life-giving refreshment from the true God. The cup represents blessing rather than sacrifice, receiving rather than giving up. David continues, "Thou maintainest my lot." The word maintainest means to hold firm, to support, or to keep secure. God doesn't just give David his portion once and walk away. He protects and preserves what he has given. This divine maintenance provides security that earthly possessions cannot offer. Stock markets crash, businesses fail, and material wealth disappears. But God's provision remains constant. He guards what he has entrusted to his people. David acknowledges that his circumstances, both good and difficult, come under God's sovereign control. He doesn't view his life as random chance, but as a divine appointment. Verse 6 expands this theme with geographical language. "The lines are fallen unto me in pleasant places" refers to the boundary lines that marked property ownership. When surveyors measured land, they used lines to establish borders. David believes God guides his life. The boundaries God has drawn around him create pleasant places. This doesn't mean David's life lacks difficulty, but that he finds satisfaction within the limits God has established. The word pleasant suggests delight and beauty. David doesn't just tolerate his circumstances, but finds genuine joy in them. This contentment flows from recognizing God's hand in every aspect of his situation. The phrase "goodly heritage" summarizes David's perspective. Heritage encompasses everything passed down from previous generations, including land, possessions, and family standing. David considers his spiritual inheritance superior to any material legacy. This heritage includes God's promises, his covenant relationship, and his eternal purposes. Unlike earthly inheritances that can be lost or stolen, this spiritual heritage remains secure forever. Paul expresses similar contentment in Philippians 4:11-12. "Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned, in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content. I know both how to be abased, and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need." Modern believers struggle with contentment in a culture that constantly promotes dissatisfaction. Advertising creates discontent to drive consumption. Social media feeds comparison and envy. David's perspective offers a radical alternative. When Christians grasp that God is their portion, material circumstances lose their power to determine happiness. This doesn't promote laziness or irresponsibility, but offers freedom from the anxiety driving human strife. The boundaries God establishes in our lives, including limitations and disappointments, become sources of peace rather than frustration. We learn to see divine wisdom in what He withholds, as well as in what He provides.